All right, welcome to a quick episode of the Cat's Garage. I'm your host, Dirk, and I should say the daddy of the cats. So, if anybody's wondering, the cats is an acronym for mine and my boys' first names. So, Chris, Alexander, and Tristan. So, anyway, just kind of give you a quick overview of the garage and what's all in it. So, the Forester kind of lives on this side of the garage right now. That's because I've kind of taken it over with the truck that you can see back inside there. But otherwise, we have a 2014 Chevy Silverado 1500 High Country. This is the 5.3 liter rear-wheel drive. Yeah, it's nice. I like it. I just got rid of my Jeep to get this. Once again, I wanted a functional truck with a truck bed, and I've got to admit that these Silverados are beastly looking. I like them a lot. They look awesome. So there are some modifications in the future for this truck, but right now my main concern is working on the 1964 C20, which is in that garage stall back there. The wife is driving a 2015 Subaru Forester XT Touring Edition, so all the bells and whistles with that 2.0 direct injected turbo motor. The turbo is a twin scroll motor on this, so, and it is automatic with paddle shifters and all that good stuff. Anyway, it's a fun little vehicle. Well, it's got that continuously variable transmission, or CVT, but does a great job. Yes, everything is dirty. The weather here has been kind of crappy lately, and today it's just at the freezing point. So I was planning on going to getting the truck washed again. It was clean 3 days ago, and now it is completely nasty again. Anyway, moving on into this side of the garage. I still have some Jeep parts laying here, so some Jeep parts there, some Jeep parts underneath, and all that stuff. People are coming by slowly, picking up parts. So when I traded the Jeep in, I pretty much stripped down everything I did to the Jeep, just because I wasn't planning on losing any money off of what I had done with the Jeep. So, yep. Anyway, coming over here, lots of wonderful stuff taken off of Project Steve here. So, yep, the boys named the truck Steve. So anyway, this particular truck, great shape. Everything's original on the truck other than the motor. The motor was a 350 that they took out of a 73 C10 and put it in here. But otherwise, this rear end here, it's an Eaton HO52. It's a full floater design, meaning that the axles that go in here, they don't have any weight on them other than the amount of force coming from the engine through the differential, through the axle shaft to the wheels. That's the only force that's applied onto these. All the actual structural weight of the truck is actually carried on the axle shaft itself. That's what makes these full floater systems so beefy, so strong, and everything else. So as you can see inside there, this was extremely clean inside and out. Did have an issue with one of the brakes. That's because I've been driving it around, and they pretty much, the person who had this before me, they pulled it out of a barn. It had hardly no miles on it for the year. It was in awesome shape. It had a little bit of corner rust on the cab corners. The previous owner that had it, obviously you can see there, horrible cab corner fix. I mean, yeah, sure, it plugged a hole, but not the right way to do it. Coming over here on the 64, there's a little bit of rust down there in that cab corner there, so I'm going to be taking care of all that. I'm going to be putting in new supports and everything else underneath. As you can see underneath there, there's some surface rust, a little bit of surface rust on the frame, stuff like that. But this whole cab, I'm going to be taking it off, and I'm going to be pour 15ing the entire frame once I get it all cleaned up. I'm going to be getting a lot of other stuff powder coated. Here's a bunch of stuff that I've taken off of Steve over here. So as you can see, a box full of parts and everything else. Chances are I'm going to take a majority of this stuff and take it to the scrap heap and just get rid of it all. Bell housing, suspension parts, brake brake parts, all that kind of stuff. The drum brakes and everything, I'll probably end up cleaning all those up, and I'll probably take those to a swap meet and sell them. But all this other stuff right here where, underneath the blower here, this is my snow removal device when the snow is light and dry. So, but anyway, all this stuff here, I'm going to go get it all cleaned up, and then I'm going to take it over to a local powder coater and have it all powder coated. So, because I don't have an oven in my garage, so that's one thing I don't get to do. Anyway, continuing on with the garage. So, got some racks and everything else. Had the soft top to the Jeep. So, like I said, I wasn't giving the dealership anything for free. They, with the price that they offered me for trading, which it hit my mark for what I wanted. For the minimum side of it, I wasn't going to give any aftermarket stuff for that price. But anyway, there's Steve's hood underneath that. Kind of keep that protected. And then our little soda area, little freezer, got the wife's extra fridge so she can keep all of her other stuff in there. Coming back over here, do got a water spigot down there, so the hose and all that stuff, so I can use that in here. It's just cold water. It's not hot yet, so I plan on at some point in time also putting a hot spigot out. So we'll see how that goes. If you're curious what this pipe right here is, a lot of people are like, it's an exhaust pipe. Kind of. It's a radon mitigation pipe. So that had to be installed before we bought the house. And if you live in Nebraska and you have a basement and you spend a ton of time down in your basement, it's one of the pretty much one of the requirements you need to do. You need to have your house tested for radon and put a mitigation system in if the level of radon is too high. But anyway, moving on. Little bunch of car stuff in here. So cleaning materials, everything else, fluids, all that. So yes, I do plan on upgrading my cabinetry and everything else at some point in time, but this was all stuff that I had at the previous house that I lived in, and we just moved it all here. So continuing on with the garage tour. So once again, a lot of Steve parts. Got the bed of the truck right there, just kind of holding it there just in case, and kind of support it so it doesn't shift and warp or anything like that back and forth. So it's not moving, it's not going anywhere. That thing's heavy as ever. So once again, more parts, more stuff, more tools, mine and my wife's bikes. There's the fuel tank that's going to be going into Steve. Once again, part separator and everything else. So all of Steve's parts have been put into Ziploc bags. Everything else put in there for the most part, as long as it fits. Documentation, documents, all that good stuff. Steve's license plate, all that. Yay. Kind of a rendition of what I was thinking about doing with Steve, but yeah, it's still changing. It's still not quite there yet. A couple of tire racks. Before the Jeep, I had an STI, so I had 3 sets of STI tires, 1 on the car, 2 up here. Once again, got rid of the car. Didn't get the price I wanted, so they weren't getting anything extra off of it. Moving on, a couple more TV. So put some football games or whatever else on while I'm out here. Air tank, all the tools, and it keeps going back. Yes, this garage is the main reason why we bought this house. At least from my perspective. My wife wanted a bunch of other stuff. She really didn't care about the garage, but I did. So this is where we're at. So there's the 350 that came out of Steve. That goes out into the backyard. And, yep. All these boxes are all for Steve, except for those ceiling fans. We're not putting ceiling fans in Steve. However, one of my plans for this place was, a lot of storage up there too. But one of my plans for this place was taking these ceiling fans and putting them up where these 2 lights are. And then putting up another wall. So removing this bike here, putting up a support that comes across through here, down to there, putting up a kind of like a wall, well, a wall. And putting an access point from here to here with doors that would slide open. So this way you could come in. This would be heated, so you could work on different things in here in the wintertime. I also have a little window air conditioner. I doubted I would use that. I'd probably go with that Mitsubishi unit and just put a Mitsubishi unit up here on the wall to also keep this area cool in the summertime when it gets up to 100 degrees here in Nebraska. So, but anyway, so this is the cat's garage. Hopefully you like the little tour and everything else. Tons of storage and everything else, but I'm slowly eating it up as I'm going along with Steve. So especially once I got to get all this stuff out of here into a powder coat and get it clean. I'm getting all this out of here. These tires are going. These are the old arms, or the rear trailing arms that came off of Steve. Those are going to the scrap heap, all that stuff. So but yep, that's it. For secret storage, I got a lot of attic space. Attic up over there, attic up over there, all that good stuff. But all right, once again, thanks for watching. If you like what you see, go ahead, please subscribe. We're gonna have all kinds of different things on this channel. Everything from working on Steve videos, cleaning them up, getting them ready to go, the plans that we're gonna be doing with Steve, everything else. Stuff that we'd end up doing to the Silverado, which funny enough, my twins, yes, my boys are twins. So Tristan immediately claimed this truck. And he said, this is Tristan's Steve, or also just known as Steve. And so once we got rid of the Jeep, Alexander saw the white truck, and Alexander immediately stated that that was Alexander's Steve. So pretty much all trucks are becoming Steve. But anyway, so once again, thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you like what you see, and we're going to start getting more content on this channel. So stick around. All right, y'all take care. Drive safe.